I'd like to welcome Coach Josh Bailey to Marshall County. Josh is the new head football coach for the Brindlee Mountain Lions. And, Coach, if you'd let the guys introduce themselves or you introduce them and make some opening comments for us today, we'd appreciate it.
This is Joey Cox to my left here. He's an offensive lineman, a senior offensive lineman. I've also brought Colton Hall. He'll be a senior wide receiver. And over here is Evan Parks. He's a senior linebacker / H-back. And so got a good group of guys with us here today.
Just some opening comments, if you would, about this year's team.
Okay. So we're trying to build a culture at Brindlee Mountain. I'm excited. I'm from Arab, so I'm from the area right there on the mountain. And so it was a fun opportunity to come home. Spent the past 4 years coaching at Huntsville High School with Coach Fleetwood. And I think that was a great opportunity to see things done at a high level. It's 7A football, playing a really high level of competition. But more importantly than that, I think what I gained from my previous experience was being able to see the organizational side of things and being able to find out how a program ought to be run, and not just coaching a football team, but running a football program. And so when I came to Brindlee Mountain, I saw that as an opportunity. It was a challenge, but an opportunity to kind of establish a culture and create a football program and an atmosphere that's conducive to success. And so far, we've had really great participation. We've had really good turnout. I think these guys could attest to the fact that we've put together a summer program, which is not totally new, but we're doing it a little differently than we've done things in the past. And I think that we got a good group of seniors. We're at around 10 to 12 seniors. And so, they've really bought in, and they're trying their hardest to change the culture at Brindlee Mountain. I think the numbers have come up a little bit, and so we're looking forward to seeing the fruits of our labors. But more importantly, we're looking forward to seeing the culture change, and that's kind of something that I've talked to these seniors about. The wins might not come right away. But what we're trying to do is a little bit more important than that. What we're trying to do is build the foundation for Brindlee Mountain football. Build something that these kids that are in middle school and that are freshmen can stand on, a firm foundation for them to stand on when it's their time. And these guys, I think they've stepped up to the plate. I think they're prepared, and these guys want to be the guys to do it.
Coach, you talk about the changes that you're bringing maybe philosophically through offense, defense, and also how many returning players that played on the team last year do you have coming back?
So about the returning players, we've had quite a bit of turnover. So some of the players that played last year have elected not to play. We've had several seniors. I think now we're at 5 or 6 seniors that hadn't played at Brindlee Mountain that have chosen to come out and play. Some guys that played, up into their freshman year or sophomore year maybe, and then just decided to hang it up and have elected to come back out. And so that's been really great. And as far as changes go, as far as scheme and everything, football's football, and everything works. There's not an offense that anybody's put together that is designed to fail. So the scheme changes aren't really what's going to matter. I think what matters more so is the how we achieve what we're wanting to achieve. The how do we get there? And I think these players understand that. And we've tried to be a little bit more detailed as far as like how we teach things. I think one big difference is I'm an offensive line guy. I played offensive line at Alabama A&M and at Jacksonville State, and I coached the offensive line everywhere I've ever been. That's kind of my trade. I love coaching the offensive line. We took these guys to the Southeastern Line Camp in Clay Chalkville, and that's the first time they'd ever done anything like that. And we got to see some really first-rate teams there. Bob Jones was there, James Clemens was there, Thompson was there, Clay Chalkville was there. And so they got to see what it looks like. They got to be coached by those guys. And so we really want to put a lot of emphasis, I guess scheme-wise, that would be the biggest difference, is we're really trying to emphasize the line of scrimmage. And I think that has been a bit of a weakness, in past times at Brindlee Mountain. But again, I don't think any of that really is the big takeaway, the scheme changes or anything like that. I think the big takeaway is changing the culture and how we operate and just learning how to be a football team, the do's and do nots and that kind of thing.
This is for the players. You can tell Coach Bailey, you've hit the ground running, high energy. Guys, what do you think about Coach Bailey so far? Has he changed the culture? Has he laid a foundation that where you can make Brindlee Mountain a great place to play football?
Yes, sir. He changed a lot of stuff around. Like we're in the weight room every day almost, that we can possibly be in there, and it's a lot faster paced and practice, and just different energy this year.
About the same thing he said. It's pretty much what he's done. He's done a lot for us, especially me and these guys up here. So let's just go on.
Yeah, he's changed a lot. Like, the offense is new, defense is new uniforms, better equipment. It's a lot better.
Coach, one of the things about Brindlee Mountain is unique is the fact there is not a community, a city, a town around your school. What is it going to take to get the community, or the area, if you would, and you draw from probably the biggest area in Marshall County, how's it going to get those folks all together, singing out of the same page in the same hymn book, and getting them together to back your football team?
Yeah, great question and a good point. I can't tell you how many times I've had that exact conversation when describing the situation. I kind of describe our school zone like a donut, and ARAB is the donut hole. I drive every day and go pick up kids, and we drive past ARAB High School to take them to Brindlee Mountain High School. But what I just said, I think that may be the answer to your question. The kids buy in, and they want to play hard for people that they love and that they care about. And one of the ways that we foster relationships is by doing the hard things for these kids. And this isn't bragging on just me or anybody else. Some of the guys that we've hired, Coach Pittman, he picks up kids and brings them to the school. I pick up kids and bring them to the school. Yesterday, we played at a 7-on-7 in Fort Payne yesterday. And yesterday morning, wake up at 5:30, drive down the road and pick up a kid, and then drive the other direction, pick up 3 more kids, and then we drive past ARAB High School, to head to Brindlee Mountain High School. But when you do those kind of things and invest time and energy and resources into the kids, then you get back buy-in. It's about building a rapport. And let me say this about the community at Brindlee Mountain. The community at Brindlee Mountain is hungry for a positive thing. And football, I think, is a great opportunity. I think football could be that positive thing. We've had a lot of community support, a ton of it. So I want to make mention of Rocky Nepper. He's our Pee Wee football. He kind of put together the Pee Wee program, I guess the president, so to speak, of our Pee Wee organization. And for years, Brindlee Mountain didn't have a Pee Wee program. If our kids wanted to play Pee Wee football, they'd go to ARAB, and they'd play with those kids who would end up going to ARAB. And so, and then obviously when they got to high school, they'd have the option of going to ARAB. It was a huge deal for us to get the Pee Wee program up and running. As far as I know, Brindlee Mountain has never done a youth camp. This was our first year doing a youth camp. We had 45 participants. That was grades K through 6. And for a first year, I was very pleased with the turnout. And the parents had a great time, and the kids had a great time. And I think doing those kind of things is how you get buy-in from the community. I think so far it's paid off.
Coach, the majority of your team has only experienced 2 wins. How much do you feel the hunger within the group?
Oh, man. I mean, we want to win. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we want to win big time. Losing bothers me, On nights that I lose, sometimes I don't get a lot of sleep. But that being said, I think I want to preemptively say we want to win. But the big part is that these kids understand that what we're doing is a little bit of what I said earlier. These kids understand that what we're doing is building a foundation. The good teams play hard no matter the circumstance, right? And so whether we're up 21, down 21, whether we're 9-0 or 0-9, the number one thing that is my goal this year is to get these kids to play hard every down. I'll make mention of yesterday. Again, we were in Fort Payne playing 7-on-7, and I think we were the only team out there that had everybody playing both ways. Sylvania was out there, and they were 2 platoon. We played Fort Payne's JV. Even the Fort Payne's JV was 2 platoon. And our guys, Evan got about every snap yesterday, and so did Colton. And we get to the last game, and you can tell we're beat, And I kind of got the team together and made mention of, guys, this is hard, but isn't that the point, right? Getting through hard stuff together, making sure that everybody stays in the boat. That's what this year's about. We're hungry for wins. But I think more importantly than that, we want to build a foundation that, again, the younger kids can stand on.
Coach, I can't tell you how proud I am to see you having called your name when you played for the Arabian Nights and through that time. But you also had your football career so far has had a couple of really good mentors. people that are well respected in the world of football in Watt Parker, and of course in Coach Fleetwood at Huntsville High, which is my alma mater, and to meet and to know them and know how much have you gleaned from them to take to your head coaching position?
Oh, man. The very first call I made was Coach Parker. I called him and I said, Coach, are you busy? Can you meet me at the field house? The night I was board approved, I think it was March. It was early March. And I got my keys. And then the next day, Coach Parker was there willing and ready to meet me at the field house and kind of get my checklist going. I mean, it was a huge deal to have him to lean on. He was at the field house this past week, helping me check out the sprinklers and helping me just go over some stuff, helping me order paint and those kinds of things. The growing pains that a first-year head coach would have, you know. And so he's been there for me in a big way. I'd say the exact same thing for Coach Fleetwood. Making mention of Coach Fleetwood, I get to Brindlee Mountain, and one of the biggest challenges that I see, we don't have a trainer. No trainer to be found. And they went without a trainer all year last year. So I called Coach Fleetwood. Coach Fleetwood, what can I do? Like, give me an avenue. And he puts me in contact with Michael Stevenson, who works with Huntsville Hospital. And before long, now we have a trainer almost full time. I think she's going to be at Asbury a little bit, but she's going to be with us the majority of the time. And so those two guys, Coach Fleetwood and Coach Parker, have been absolutely huge. And my growth as a coach, more importantly, my growth as a person, but as of late, helping the Brindlee Mountain football team. And so I'm very grateful to them.
Guys, I'd like to ask the players a question. Coach mentioned the 7-on-7 yesterday and probably other work that you've done this summer. As leaders of the football team, do you feel that work this summer has pulled you guys closer together and made you ready for this fall season coming up?
Yes, sir. I feel like in the beginning of the summer, there was a lot of new people, and there wasn't a lot of chemistry in between the players. But being at 7-on-7s and just the bus rides and then being at the 7-on-7 and every once in a while getting a win, it built a friendship and a family throughout the whole team.
Yeah, on the bus rides to the 7-on-7s, people showing up to practice every day, working hard. 7-on-7s, like going out to eat, bus rides, we've all had that chemistry. We got good chemistry now, and we feel really good this year.
I went to the lineman camp, but the bus ride there and back and then just learning everything from everybody just makes a team, builds a bond deeper than we've had before.
And again, players, talk about Coach asking you, first-year coach coming in, you've made an impression on him, obviously, to be here today. He's brought you to represent your community, to represent your school, and obviously your teammates in your football team. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I was half of the summers at basketball, so I wasn't really, and there was people there that were there more than me, and I feel like, I'm glad he brought me, and it's an honor to be here and represent my team and my community.
It's an honor for me, too. I ain't played football since my 8th grade year in middle school, and I came out for the summer, and I had basketball for the longest, and I came out for football, and I'm honored to be here and support,
It's an honor to come with, because I like Coach Bailey. He's doing a lot for everybody, and he's just there to help. So,
Coach, we'll wrap it up with you today. Talk about your schedule. You open 4 weeks from tomorrow night. I think you've got a home game. You get the home game to open up your career there at Brindlee Mountain. Talk about your schedule and how you think you might stack up this season.
Well, we open up the 17th at home against Galesville in a jamboree, and then following that, we're at home at Cherokee. And, we talk a little bit about, as a coaching staff, you get together and you talk about, what does the season look like, the wins and the losses and that kind of thing. I'm happy with the schedule. I think we got some really, really tough teams. I mean, when Madison Academy's in the region, that's tough. But I think there's some winnable games on the schedule. But again, we really try to not talk about those things too much. The wins and the losses, that'll come. Hopefully the winning, will be a byproduct of the hard work that we put in. What's way more important than that is that we're competitive in these games. And when I say competitive, I mean we are working our tail off to compete. It doesn't mean that we lost a close one, 28-21. It means that if you're down 35 points, then how do you take the field? Do you walk on the field? Do you walk off the field? Or do you jog on? Do you jog off? What's the body language look like on the sideline? Those are the things that we're really trying to accent rather than the wins and the losses. And hopefully, if we do those things well, the wins will come.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you being here with us today.
Yeah.
Have a great season.
Thank you, guys.